Okay, we're just about to start a 3-on-1 call with Pete Samanillo.
I'm great. How are you, Richard?
We got Keith and Pete on the line.
Awesome.
And we're recording the call for Pete. Pete, Ellen will send you a link to this call. And so what we do is, have you had a hot seat before on the peer group call?
Yes, I did. Actually, I had two earlier in the year.
Yeah. So it's a similar format, and since we are recording this, you can take some notes, but you will be able to re-listen to this.
Okay.
All right, so you can relax a little bit, and I really enjoy working with you, Pete.
Well, thank you. I enjoy working with you too. I wouldn't be this far for sure if I didn't have all your guys' support. I know that. All
right. Well, let's blast off in 2012 before the world ends.
So we got till December 21st, right?
All right. What's your goals for December 22nd? All right, Pete. Well, let's talk about your future and your past and your now. As you know, when you're setting goals, what you do is you take an assessment of where you're at, and then you take a look at where you've been, and then you take a look at where you want to go. And so thanks for filling out the questionnaire. Mm-hmm. I read through and I read your answers, and I know Mark's got a copy. Keith went through it, and so by the way, you want to say hi, Mark, to Pete?
Hey, Mark,
Pete.
how you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. How are you doing? Happy New Year, Mark.
Happy New Year to you, Richard. It is going to be a great year. I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. And I'm excited about the next joint venture partner retreat at the end of April in Colorado Springs. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. All right. And we have a beautiful hotel in Manitou Springs, and it's only like 15, 20 minutes from my house. And we're going to do it Friday and Saturday, the last Friday and Saturday of April, and then we're going to have a party at my house on Sunday.
Pete, remind me the market that you're in, please.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So, yeah, Richard, you want to go ahead with lead off the question?
Yeah. So the first part we have is your cash business effectiveness wheel. And so your monthly cash is your cash now is the money you're pulling out of deals, and the cash you collect from buyers and getting cashed out of properties. So you got your cash now. So you're not quite meeting your cash now goals, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. And so we do pull cash out of every deal, so that's the best way to fix that is do more deals. Cash flow, you want to you got a very reasonable goal there, passive $2,000 a month. I think we want to focus in on, when we do our deal structuring, focus in on raising cash now, okay? And then once we're doing good there'll be deals where you might want to build in some extra cash flow to build that up, on your deal structuring.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because when you do your deal structuring, it's like, what's more important, generating some cash flow for you or generating cash now? Right now, it's cash now, right?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, and then your equity. We're going to do at least 4 deals over the next year. I'm pretty confident. Let's see, what's your goal for this year? How many deals you want to do? 6?
I wanted to do 12.
12?
But not necessarily all. I'd like to do at least 6 that I'm going to buy and hold.
Mm-hmm.
And if the other 6 were assignments or flips that brought in some cash, that would be fine as well.
Okay, how are you finding those leads for the flips?
A lot of the ones that I've done have come from the U.S. leads list,
mm-hmm.
inherited. I'll make multiple offers, and the ones that have gone are just ones that have gotten the cash has been accepted, and I chose to flip them because they were excessive rehabs, and I'm trying to save the private money I do have lined up to get tough deals done rather than try to cover a much larger amount on just one deal.
Okay, and then you have people you can flip to?
Yeah, I've worked on that over the past year or two, so I've found a few pretty good rehabbers in my market. So I've got 2 or 3 that are very serious, and so I did 3 this year, I think. Yeah, I had 3 assignments this year, and made pretty good cash on those.
Okay. All right, and then you're so we'll definitely, I think we'll buy 4 free and clear or 6 free and clears. I'm confident of that. And your average profit on those, you said your financial goal, cash and equity. I see. Okay, gotcha. All right. And then your operational cash, you're trying to keep enough cash coming in to cover your expenses and build reserves, pay down debt. And you're falling short on that now, so that's an opportunity to improve. By bringing in more cash, that'll help with that out, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got a lot of credit card, personal credit card debt that I've built up over the past couple years. With my other business, got hit pretty hard when the market crashed, and then I've spent a lot of the money I've used to get this business going and do coaching and boot camps. I sort of, used my cards to educate myself. So I really want to get that paid off as soon as possible.
Yeah, and those now you can use those you can pay those credit cards off, and then technically you could use those credit lines if you needed. But my experience is when I pay off my credit cards, they reduce my credit balance. My available credit.
Cut your line down.
Yeah, so you got to do a combination of both: pay them down and build cash reserves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Your business effectiveness wheel. Okay. Marketing systems. You should be getting more. Let's see. How much are you spending a month on marketing? $1,000?
Yeah, I've been averaging just about right around 1,000. Yeah.
Okay. Now, normally 1,000. If we got 5 or 6 quality leads out of 1,000, we're on track. Out of $1,000. Okay.
Yeah.
So, if you wanted to get to 6 to 10 quality leads per month, you'd want to get to the point where you have enough cash where you can, get more leads coming in, spend more on postcards. We do have some people that, are getting better, response rates. So they're getting 6 to 10 to 12 to 20 free and clear leads out of 1,000 postcards, out of 700 bucks. And so you've been doing your own marketing. How has that worked? Remind me. How have I been helping you with your marketing, and what have you been doing? Because for everybody else, I just pull their list and mail their cards. You're mailing your own.
You double-checked my original list, and we were on the same page, and I basically been just mailing the cards. And then you and I just had a call yesterday. You sent me 2 new lists that I can pull for the owner-occupied and absentee owner, and I'm just sending out the cards myself. Okay,
and then you're getting probably maybe 2,000 cards out a month?
Yeah, actually, that's exactly. I've been averaging right about 2,000 a month.
Okay.
It kind of depends because the absentee owners have a better return. But I was mailing my older owner-occupied list, and I could mail 1,500 of those and only get 3 or 4 calls.
Yeah.
But,
What was the type of list that I sent you over? Was it absentee owners?
You pulled both. You sent me an absentee owner, and you sent me an owner occupied.
What was the loan to value on the owner occupied?
We did up to 17%.
Yeah. So coaches, one of the things I'm doing is when we shift over, when we hit all the absentee owners, and now we're shifting over to primary owners and listability, we have typically a lot of records. And to narrow that down, one of the things I'm doing is instead of saying 0 to 49% equity, I'm actually saying 0 to 20% equity or 0 to 17% equity to narrow down the list.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you think is so how many leads are you getting?
Yeah, what's your response rate?
Yeah, you're getting 6 to 10. You're mailing 2,000 postcards right now. You're getting 6 to 10 quality leads a month.
Let me take a look.
Okay.
Yeah. It was 2,000. I got 10. 2,000. I got 8. Yeah, somewhere between like 7 and 10. It looks like is what the average has been.
Okay.
Out of around 2,000.
Okay. Out of $1,000. Okay, so that's good. That's working. If you want to do more deals more often, if you get to the point where you can ramp up your marketing a little bit, how is your time as far as taking it, handling those leads well, following up on them, taking the calls, meeting with the sellers, seeing the houses, researching the properties? Do you have the time to deal with more leads each month?
I'm trying to get much better with my time blocking, but yeah, I think I definitely can make the time to handle them. I get back to the sellers very quickly if I don't answer it directly, and usually try to set an appointment, on that initial call.
Okay. And are you? Is your plan to? Are you doing deal structuring on your own, or are we doing deal structuring on all your free and clear leads?
Yeah, I'm getting with you on pretty much all of my free and clear leads.
Okay. Now, you can also go to Keith, contact him as a coaching captain. I'm going to get him on the Gen book, and he can do the deal structuring with you. Mark, what's your availability for doing deal structuring? Are you ready yet?
Not ready yet. Low is a good answer. No, low availability right now.
Okay. Well, I was doing it all, and then we started doing the webinars, which expanded the availability, and now we're going to add Mark, so that's going to expand it as well, or we're going to add Keith, and then we'll bring on Mark, and so that's good. Okay. So you do have the option of going to Keith right now for deal structuring too, if I'm not available soon enough. Okay, so you're marketing, and then you're buying systems. You're
hold on a second, Richard. Pete, can you delineate between your different campaigns? What's coming in? You're like getting 70% of your leads from the out of area, 30% from the other high equity list, or do you distinguish between the responses when they come in?
I do. I've tracked every mailing and where what to call, what good lead or dead lead. So I've got all that tracked.
So how is that high equity list working for you?
Well, the one I was working with earlier in the year was about a year and a half old, and I wasn't actually getting a very good response. At least I don't think. Like I said, I'd mail maybe 1,500 and get maybe three or four leads out of it. But the last couple times I mailed it, I wasn't getting anything. And then we pulled the absentee owner list, and I was getting like 2%, 3%. So I've been mailing that for the last half of the year. And the U.S. lead list always seems to pull good on the first mailing, but then I would do like mail it out every once a month for 3 months, and I wouldn't get anything after the first mailing. Nothing ever seemed to come in on the follow-up mailings.
Okay, so that's interesting feedback. because I've been recommending
and were you have you been consistently mailing that U.S. Leads list for a year now? So that's not just a fluke. You've seen it 3, 4, 5 times?
Yes, I've been buying U.S. Leads lists for the last 2 years, so that's probably on my 7th or 8th list. And that for me, that was consistent. You know, the first mailing, get a very, very good response. But then I've tried mailing 4 or 5 times.
All right, let's change that to once a quarter. For, you know, when you get a new list, mail it once, and then 3 months later you mail it again.
Even with the inherited. Well,
yeah.
The other thing I noticed with the U.S. Leads is after, like when I mailed the second time, like 25% of the list would come back to me because the mail carrier will send it back saying that
person died.
They can't. Yeah, so person isn't there anymore, or can't forward. So I get a huge chunk of my mailings back the later I mail those.
That list does have some problematic, and that's one of the problematic things with that list. Now, I wouldn't necessarily be so quick to just bring it down to once a quarter on that, Richard. Hold on one second. I got some more questions for Pete. Now, do you vary the piece? Do you send the same piece, or is it a different piece the second time?
Usually I resend the magic bullet. On the last list I tested, I did half the list. I did the magic bullet, and the other half of the list I sent a handwritten, a yellow letter. And,
long version or the short version?
Actually, it had the same message, the Richard's message that was on the magic bullet, but it was handwritten.
Okay, good. And did that improve your response at all?
No, the postcard actually seems to do better. Postcard pulled better, and I paid 3 times as much for the letter.
Huh.
So I went back to just work in the postcard.
And then do you mail it, how long do you mail it, for how many, like, before changes that you might implement today, what was your normal process? You mail it 8 times and then it's done, or do you mail it 5 times and it's done, or?
Recently, like the last 2 or 3 lists, I would mail it, I mailed it 3 times. I mailed it the original, then I would mail that out again in about 4 weeks, and then I mailed it out again in 4 weeks, like once a month, basically.
So the list comes out every quarter. During the quarter, you hit them 3 times.
Exactly. And then I got a new list.
And then you get a new list. Gotcha.
Okay, so here's some things to consider, and we'll get Richard's feedback on that list. That list is really good early, and it's really good late. And by late, I mean a year after it comes out.
Oh.
Typically, families are either ready to do something right away, or they're not ready and they're offended and they don't want to even think about doing anything. Either they're trying to just grieve and deal with the family, and so they just board up the house or lock up the house. They keep the heat on, and they just sort of go through this process like nothing happened. And then a year down the road, they're like, oh, we're tired of paying the utilities and the taxes. We're ready to do something. And so I've had success mailing that list late, really late, like a year after. I'll mail them twice, and I usually get a couple hits. Maybe the spouse was, remaining, and now she's ready to move on. And so, there's just a lot of different factors.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You're going to get the people that want to do something right away, and then you get the other folks that don't want to do anything, or they go and pursue other options. And so when you hit them late, you get the people that were waiting, and you get the people that are tired of their other options.
Yep.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So you can think about how many times you want to hit them on that late campaign. But I would say personally, hit them twice up front in case they missed your card the first time. Just hit them twice, once, and then 4 weeks later hit them again, and then you can skip the third time, and then hit them late.
Okay.
Or hit them 3 times like you're doing, but you said you're not getting any response on that third mailing. So I would think hit them twice, and then hit them again twice a year later.
Yeah, he said he wasn't really getting much on the second either. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that's
last
been my
couple
experience.
Well, maybe I maybe hit them once and then hit it 6 months later, hit them, and then 6 months later hit them.
That would be a good option.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And I know those guys, Terry and Lance, are really good about crediting you back if it's undeliverable. Like, they're usually really good about that. So I don't know if you're going back to them and saying, hey, I got these 25 that came back.
Yeah, they'll do that on the first mailing, but if it's on because of the second mailing, I don't know if they'll do that.
They'll do it.
Yeah, for the first mailing.
I didn't know that. That's good to know, too. Sure.
Yeah, if you do your first mailing, if you get a bunch of returns, you give them a call.
Okay. Okay, great. That's good advice.
Yeah, and for like $1.40 a lead or whatever they cost, it's worth it. Could be 25.
Absolutely. Okay, good. I'm gonna do that then because I just got the new list, so I'll do that.
And compare and take a look at your numbers and compare the return on investment that you get mailing to U.S. leads lists versus the return you get on return on investment you get from the listability leads that I pulled for you. Because we're starting with the sweet spots, with the absentee owners, with equity, and then we sometimes go to absentee owners with null loan to value, and we hit them by purchase date or whatever. And then I think this primary owner list will work better than what you used in the past. Number one, it's we're really narrowing down the loan to value, and I don't know all the search criteria used on the older, free and clear list, but I think the one that I just pulled for you should actually work pretty good. And then we can actually look at re-hitting the same absentee owners after 4 or 5 months.
Okay. We'll follow up. Okay. I'll do that. When you say return on investment, are you talking about like deals, like cash in, or like leads?
Yeah, it's like you spent $1,000 on postcards and lists on U.S. leads lists, and then or let's say you spent $2,000, okay, on U.S. leads lists and mailing the postcards, and then compare that to $2,000 you spent sending postcards to listability.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, which $2,000? How much did you make on the first $2,000, and how much did you make on the other $2,000?
Okay, what I made. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not response rate. I've had people mail to the free and clear list, primary owners, get 3 calls and do a deal, And then
right.
So okay. All right, Mark, you want to go to buying systems or anything else on marketing?
Let's go on. I think we're good.
All right. You have any questions on marketing, Pete?
No.
I think we're good. I'm sorry. I thought you said Pete.
No. I just I've worked with Pete over the past year or so on marketing and stuff, and I do like that he keeps his numbers, because then we can help him adjust his numbers. So I just congratulate him on keeping his numbers so well that we can suggest, and I like that new mailing for the U.S. lead list as well about, let's hit them once and then 6 months and then a year. I think that might work out really well.
Yeah, that's great. I've got 2 lists now. I'm ready to mail to again. So
yeah,
more leads.
And I'm looking at your numbers on buying, and your closing ratio is like 1 out of 10. So that's great. That's good. So you just need to be making more offers. Right.
That's what it is. And I looked at my numbers for last year. I averaged, and it seemed like I was doing a whole lot more, but I was only averaging 4 offers a month.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you were on track to buy 4 houses a year.
So the numbers don't lie. Yeah, it's pretty simple math.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, I got to make more offers.
Okay, so buying comes under deal structuring and seller negotiations. And have you tapped into the seller call library that I've been creating with the JV partners?
I have. Each of them twice at least now. I always have my iPod on whenever I'm doing something, and I've been listening to them steadily. So it's helpful. It's very helpful.
Okay, who did we lose? We lost somebody.
I'm still here.
Okay, we lost Mark. Okay, he'll probably come back in. We'll he'll beat back in.
He's probably out in the ice somewhere.
All right. So we want to up our offers. We can do that by, and are you effectively following it? Hey, Mark, welcome back. Hey, Mark, welcome back.
Sorry about that.
You didn't fall through the ice, did you?
No, sir. No, sir, I did not. No, sir, I did not.
Okay, and then so Pete, you're doing pretty good with maximizing the value of your leads by effective, efficient callbacks and follow-up.
Yes, I believe so. I think I'm pretty good at that. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there's anything falling through the cracks, Pete?
I try to prioritize my leads. So, if I get 5 or 6 calls and 1 or 2 of them are like a subject to, where the person just seems difficult on the phone, then, I'll obviously go to the other ones first. And I may have lost a couple leads that way. I've had folks that I've been calling, once every 2 or 3 weeks trying to get back a hold of that, they made an initial call and I haven't been able to get back a hold of them. Mm-hmm. But I just keep them on a follow-up and give them a call every couple weeks. And I've gotten back in touch with 1 or 2 people that way. But overall, I think I'm pretty good. I know when the calls are coming in for marketing, so I try to leave myself pretty flexible on those 1 or 2 days to answer the bulk of the calls live. And,
now do you use the time blocking for that? If you know the leads are going to be hitting, and I'm talking time blocking. I wanted Mark on the phone for that.
Awesome again.
So what you can do is if you know your leads are going to come in on certain days, you can go ahead and time block time to call people back if you're not taking, if you don't get the call live, some callback mm-hmm. time and then some seller presentation time and block that into your schedule. So when you do talk to them, you already have some times blocked out where you can say, well, when can we get together? I'm available here and there.
Right. That's what I need to get better at. Because with my other business is also very unpredictable. So, nothing is like set. Each day I have to kind of structure the day, try to structure both businesses plus whatever else I've got. And that's where I'm trying to get better at getting, at least 3 slots a week, so I can be making at least 3 offers a week. And that's where I've been falling short, is only mm-hmm. getting 1 or maybe 2.
Okay.
I was only averaging 4 a month.
Mark, we were talking about time blocking when he knows the leads are coming in to time block some time to do some callbacks and some follow-up and some, meeting with sellers. And he's saying that his schedule is kind of dynamic as far as his other business, so it's harder for him to do the time blocking on that. But go ahead and block out the time that you can.
Yeah, and there are other things you can introduce about with regards to level 3. And remember, level 3 is not just people, it's people, process, technology. So are there other things that you can introduce that may help you to be more efficient? So that's why I asked, is anything falling through the cracks? It doesn't sound like it. But maybe there are other things that you find yourself responsible for in either this business or your other business that you can delegate, get off your plate.
Well, I definitely saw that in your questionnaire, Pete, is that you're not doing much on the level 3, right? Or it says pretty good in regards to other business, right? So you want to take a look at what can you delegate, outsource, and systemize in your real estate business to free up some of your time.
What I think I'm going to do, part of my plan, what I realized on this last, with the 2 properties I bought the second half of this past year, was that the selling actually took up a lot more of my time than I had expected it would. And that also, I think, slowed me down. And, of course, I was still going through the learning process, and setting up those systems and doing it all once or twice. Now I could do it twice as fast, but I have a good manager, a property manager I've been working with and getting to know, and I think I'm going to just basically put him on once I get a property and close on it. He can handle the repairs and getting it fixed up if things need to be done, getting it licensed, rental licenses all taken care of, and actually helping me find tenants. And I think my goal is to really try to spend all my time on the buying and then hand it off to him, because he's got very reasonable prices, and I can get him at 8% to manage the property for me, and really just not even having to mess too much with that end of it.
Right.
So I can really focus on just keeping the leads in and getting in front of the sellers, and that's kind of one way I'm planning on leveraging myself a little bit this year.
Great. Because that would be good. And then, it took you 5 months to place a tenant on one of your deals. Why did it take so long?
I made a mistake. What I did was I had found somebody fairly quickly, but she had basically dragged me along. And Keith, you know the story with the doc. She was very qualified, was going to put down 3% on the property. I mean, everything looked good, but she was holding it. She had reasons that it was taking longer, and it just kept taking longer and longer. And I should have just kept interviewing people and
absolutely. That's the lesson you learned there, right?
That's the lesson I learned.
Until you have the money in hand, the market, the house is available, and if you have a contract in hand contingent on something, the house is still available.
Yes, that I learned it the hard way, but that's exactly what happened. And then by the time I realized that I needed to start looking again, the market shifted a little bit, so the house was worth a little less than what I was expecting to get for it at the time I purchased it, so I had to play around with it a little bit.
Okay.
But I've gotten that taken care of now, and I learned a good lesson there.
Okay, it'll be a lot easier going forward with those lessons and experience and learnings. What questions do you have about selling houses or occupying houses quickly?
I guess I like the idea of the sweat equity, but I think I mentioned that in the counties that I'm focusing in, there's actually, you need to have rental licenses, and there's obviously minimum conditions the properties need to be in. So I guess it still makes sense that I buy the property, and if it needs some minimal work, I could have that work done, and then still, sell it on sweat equity, for the other things like paint and carpet.
Sure.
And updating. But I'll have to, I had to learn that, and so I'll have to factor that into my deals, that there's going to be some minimum work that needs to be done on probably all the properties. But I don't think I have too many questions. I think, like I said, it was just more of a going through it once or twice and kind of getting my feet wet. I had to go back and forth with an attorney, which that was part of the problem, getting this place occupied. It took me 6 weeks of going back and forth with my attorney to get the selling agreements all, have her look them over and make her adjustments so that they were specific to my area. But I got all that done with, so like I said, now, things should move much smoother.
Yeah, that's what we call level 1, getting things set up. So, again, you invested that time to get that set up, and now that part's done, too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Coaches, anything on selling?
No, I mean, Pete and I worked through, quite a few things, and, I think I helped him get some systems set up now, so I think now that he's gone through this a couple of times, he's going to be able to get them occupied much quicker, so I'm more familiar with what he's done and what he hasn't done and what I've worked with him on, so Mark, if Mark's got anything.
No, I just say just stay on task, and follow the advice.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And then on raising cash, is your private money program put together?
Yes, it is. I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
And I'm not out there as much as I should be, actually setting specific appointments, but I still, whenever I'm around somebody, I'm, flapping my lips, telling them about it. And I've got probably about 6 or 7 people on a list that I've talked to it in pretty much in depth, and they've said that they were interested in, to let them know when I have something come up. I don't have any actual commitments.
Right.
But I feel pretty confident that if I have a deal on the line that I can call, these 6 or 7 people, and then I would have somebody available to lend. But most of my deals, I'm structuring them, based on your money, Richard, and then figuring I'll try to find somebody to, in the meantime to replace it.
Okay. All right, good. So you need more deals.
Yes.
And you can help these people out. All right.
Exactly.
All right. And then financial management systems, you keep good records, controlling expenses, trying to make adjustments to increase profitability. I think the answer there is doing more deals because, you got all your, you got certain overhead expenses. You got a certain amount of investment in your business, and now it's just a matter of leveraging what you've already started. You're increasing the profitability, I would say, again, comes down to doing more deals.
Okay.
The closing ratio is good. I just think maybe if we can, if you want to, if there's anything you can do to get a few more leads coming in each month, make sure that you have enough leads where you can make 4 offers, 3 or 4 offers a week. Did you say your goal was like 4 offers a week?
Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for.
Well, that you'd be buying a house a month.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm shoot high, and aim high. So, yeah, if I can do 4, I really want to get to the point where I can minimize my other business, because I'll be able to get a lot more done once I know I'm consistently bringing. Keith's talking about this. I need to get 6 to 9 months of operating capital, saved, and consistently be buying a house every month or two. And once I've proven I can do that, then I can look at maybe downsizing my other business a little bit and focusing more on this.
Okay.
I really want to get full time, as soon as I can, and I'm in a good position this year, I think, to really make some huge progress because I've gotten all the little stuff out of the way, plus gotten my inner game straightened out a little bit better this year.
Okay. So one of the big rocks that I see, we call them big rocks because you can put the big rocks in the jar first, and then you can put the smaller rocks in, and then you can put the pebbles in. You take care of the big rocks first, and one of your big rocks to work on, I think, is like you mentioned, maybe your time blocking and your time management, right?
Yeah.
Maximizing the time that you have now, and just doing what you know to do, and making sure you have enough sellers to talk to each week to do offers. And so last year you did 4 deals. Cash is $87,000. You created a monthly cash flow of $360,000, and you built $98,000 in equity. And we could easily double that with doing 6 deals, I think. Okay, what do you think your big rocks are?
I would say what I think one of the biggest things that slow me down, Richard, is probably still with just deal structuring, and I think I analyze too much. I think we all probably know that, but
you and I talked about that, Pete.
Well, yeah, and
I think we've all talked to him about that.
Yeah, we've all talked about it a couple times. But for me, Richard, it's like when we're doing the deal structuring, sometimes I get nervous because when and you've explained it to me, I understand it, but I'm still just trying to get to the point where I feel comfortable with it, like giving all the positive cash flow to the seller, but of course I'm pulling some cash out. But, then I look at it as, I'm going to be holding this property for 10, 12, 15 years and not getting much more out of it until the end there. I just sometimes when I look at the deal structuring, especially the ones we've been doing lately where we're kind of tightening things up, it makes me a little more hesitant. And I guess it's just my concern is, I guess keeping commitments in the future and I look at it as when we buy these properties that, it's going to cost money, and I get nervous when it doesn't look like it's going to be bringing any money in, over the next period of years, short of, other than what I collect at closing, 10 or 15,000 at closing.
Right.
So
okay.
I end up analyzing, and I don't have a really positive feeling about the deal when I'm talking to the seller, and I know that's not helping me. Okay.
Well, do more deal structuring with me. Do more deal seller presentations with me, and when you look at your offer number 1 on the UPG, it lays out how you make your profit. It has your profit target and has your actual profit, and the actual profit comes from the cash up front. And then you get some, the cash down you get from your buyer is bonus cash. We don't even count that as a cash projection, okay? But we do reduce your back end from that, okay? And a lot of times the cash you get up front, if it's a tenant buyer, that money's kind of what you have to reoccupy the property when they leave, so.
Right.
If you give them all the cash flow, remember we are holding back 15% from our cash flow projection, so you're actually collecting 15% of the net income. Even though it's a break even, you're still collecting that 15% that you should, you don't have to spend because that money's earmarked for vacancies, repairs, and maintenance, and you can build up, a little cash account for each property that way.
Yeah.
You could also, take your buyer's down purchase deposit or whatever and put that aside for the property too. And that having some cash reserves, set aside, earmarked for the property, that'll make you, that gives you the benefits of having, 6 or 12 months of cash reserves. That'll make you feel good. Well, having money set aside for a property that you're not going to spend unless the property needs it or when the property needs it, also that helps you sleep better at night. And so that money, that extra cash is coming in. That income is coming in. It should be. When we do our deal structuring, that's what we're projecting. Then you get the cash flow increases. If we're saying 5 years of no appreciation, we're actually projecting some of your profit as the increase in cash flow minus the increase in your inflation costs, like taxes and insurance. And so your benefit, it doesn't really start kicking in from the cash flow if it's a break even, technically for 5 years. But if you're pulling cash out of deals every time you buy, and you're buying one or one and a half, one house every month or two, you look for opportunities on the deals where the seller takes less money down. They like the higher income, and they take less money down, and you have available equity, and instead of pulling out 20, you pull out 30 or 40.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so you'll have those opportunities as well. I pulled out 88 on one deal.
I could get it done in one deal.
Well, didn't you pull out 160 on one deal?
On buying one house, I think the most I pulled out was extra cash was $88,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
The other way I look at it, Richard, is I kind of look at what's it going to take for me to be able to get full time with this business, and I have a pretty big monthly nut because I have my other business and I've got a pretty big family, and I need to make about $13,000 or $14,000 a month to break even. And the average deal we're pulling out, I guess when you and I, if we're paving, if I'm partnering with you, I'm going to get about 14 or 15 when it's all said and done. And that's just break even.
It's you're pulling out 10 plus a reimbursement of your coaching fees.
Right, so it's something like 12 or 13,000 for the average deal. So I mean, even if I did a deal a month, I wouldn't be covering what I need to break even. So I'm trying to
you do get reimbursed for your marketing. Okay,
right.
So you have about $2,000 a month for coaching and marketing. well, that's most JVs are doing, $700 a month on marketing. But if you're whatever you're spending on marketing, we put that in there, and let's get reimbursed for any marketing dollars that you have out when you close a deal. We'll do that on the deal structuring, and then get reimbursed for your monthly nut for the coaching. Okay, so that reduces your monthly nut a little bit because we just count those as expenses. So when you're pulling out an extra $10,000, you're also getting the money for your buy and hold costs, your repair costs, and your marketing. So you are getting some extra cash above and beyond the extra cash that we kind of calculate and say, hey, we're going to pull out an extra 20 and we're going to split it. You're actually getting some additional cash out of that as well, reimbursements. And like I said, if you do get a down payment, that'll be some cash for the month. And
that's true.
And if you do a sweat equity deal, you said you have to kind of calculate and plan for the fact that you have to do minimum repairs to meet the regulations. But however, we're normally borrowing all the money that we need for doing all the repairs. So if it needs 10 and you only spend 5 and you do sweat equity on the other 5, that might balance out with keeping the 5 and then not collecting the 5 from your tenant because they're going to maybe do the work before they move in or something. So
right.
So you can collect additional cash by selling on sweat equity, but sometimes that's a break even.
Right. That actually benefited me on both the last 2 tough deals I did. I actually got to keep the majority of the repair money.
Right. Okay. Good.
No, it was nice.
All right. Now another thing you get when you want to capture these deals, because again, I'd love to have all my money up front, but if we're waiting for our money, we're locking in kind of a target profit, and we talked about when you get that, increased cash flow and cash later, but you also have the opportunity of paying down the debt to the seller, and then tapping into that equity. I think, Mark, when you asked me about that, I had last December I pulled out $143,000 out of a couple deals, just refinancing the equity build-up. So you don't even have to wait forever to get your equity. You can once you build up some equity, you can pull it out with some private money.
Okay, that's true.
So you can't do that unless you have properties. You're also going to you're going to find deals that you can buy cheap all cash. You make the terms offers, but they decide to take your lowball cash offer. You can bring in, you can go ahead and fund that deal with private money, hard money, or usually private money. But then you can also, if you're buying it at 50 cents on the dollar, you can then, when you have someone waiting to place money on a second, you can pull out more cash on a second. You can borrow another 25%, up to 75% loan to value. And I do that all the time. I buy houses at 50, 60 cents on the dollar, and then I have someone who wants me to place their private money, and I say, well, I got this $100,000 house. I owe 60. I can go ahead and place 15, right? And I collect a $15,000 check, and I still own the property. And what's cool about those seconds is a lot of times they like them to accrue, so it doesn't change my cash flow.
Okay. That's good. Like you say,
another advantage you have in doing these deals, even though you're not getting a bunch of cash up front, is the opportunity to be cashed out, like we've talked about, move the money around, and either pay the seller off at a discount, or give them a partial payoff at a discount and move some of their money, or move all of their money, and then take the money you get from your buyer that you didn't have to give to the seller because you moved their mortgage, and then you can use that money to pay off your private money first, and now that frees up more private money to do more deals. You can pay off hard money, you can pay off your credit cards, So there's all kinds of advantages.
That took me a while.
Yeah.
That one took me a while, but I have a better outlook on that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Your main concern was where would you move the mortgage to, and then when you when you do buy, if you do get some of these cash offers accepted, and you have built-in equity in the property, you now have a property that you can move a seller's note to as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So instead of paying private money second, you get 0% second, up to 100% loan to value instead of 75.
And yeah, and this is all, you know, it's a like you build it, you know, you build it as you go, and I keep telling myself I just want to keep focused on my goal at hand, which is to do 12 deals, and you know, if I've got 6 houses at the end of this year, all that's going to make a lot more sense, and I'm going to see a lot more possibilities that I'm not able to fully comprehend where I'm at right now.
And then
I have faith in it.
Good.
And then you're also going to get like your wholesale deals. That's part of your plan, so that will also help your cash flow. So on some of the deals that you can't do the TUS on, and you can they take an all cash offer, and you can flip that for some cash. I like that part of it. I like the fact that you have the ability to, you know, you have some people to go to, and you have the ability to do that. Go ahead, Mark.
Yeah. I like the fact that you're getting clear on your future result. So the end of the year, I want this many deals. So we can break that down further, and this is a good setup for as we look toward the end of this call, because what I want you to be left with at the end of this call is an action plan, thing to go take action on. And so one of the things whenever we're talking to folks about goals, if you want to buy 12 houses, okay, so how many offers is that? Is that 120 offers? Maybe. It might be about 120 offers, maybe 100, something like that. So how many can you do in a month? You know, what does that break down to? Well, that's 10 offers a month. So normally you're doing 4 offers a month. How can we get that up to 10 offers a month? How many more leads do we need? So just breaking it down to chunk up the elephant, so to speak, to get you to some clarity around an action plan. So now you'll know exactly how many leads, how many postcards you need to send out to get this many leads, to get this many appointments, to get this many deals to realize your goals.
And I got to congratulate you, Pete, because, you know, of course, you're second year of coaching, so you should know this stuff. But you know that you need 3 or 4 seller presentations a week to meet your goals.
Yes.
And so, you know, whatever it takes to get that done, and you'll be on track. And then you back it out.
Yeah.
Back it out into your lead flow.
It's a recipe. I mean, just, you know, add flour, butter, milk, and sugar, and you'll get a cake. Just like your business, you add 10 seller presentations a month, you'll get a deal a month.
Yeah, it's very funny how, you know, I've been hearing it for 2 years now. I've been listening to, you know, everything you guys put out, and it's always, you know, 10 to 12 offers, and, you know, it just works out that way. It's funny, but this was a good year.
Say again, you broke up there, Pete.
No, I'm just saying. I think this year I'm definitely ready. I'm past all the little stuff, and I think this is going to be. I'm going to meet these goals of 12 deals this year. I'm expecting it.
What do you got? We'll kind of wrap things up here. What do you got, Keith? Anything come up for you?
Well, I think, you know, Pete and I have worked on his goals as well, and, you know, trying to create that action plan. We've spoken before about the 3 to 4 offers per week, and, you know, take a look at your numbers in relation to your goals, and that's how you create your plan. And one thing that, you know, I'm constantly on Pete about is his, you know, watch what comes out of his mouth. You know, he just comes up with little, you know, negative things every once in a while and wording that doesn't support his beliefs or what he wants. So just continue to work on that. You're getting much better on it. And, again, Pete is about persistence. He has never given up. I don't think Pete will ever get up. He's got a clear, defined path now. So just like Mark says, let's chunk it down, work that action plan, and keep it looking forward. So he's done a great job this past year.
Thanks, Keith.
Yeah, and if if I ever don't show enough patience, or it seems like I'm ragging on you or I'm pointing out your language or something like that, it's only because I love you. And I'm actually probably unconsciously trying to stir up, some emotion to facilitate some change. And but I'll be more respectful or patient. Well, I'm probably the most impatient guy on the planet, so.
I don't know. I don't have any problems at all, Richard. I mean, I appreciate, I've talked to you like two, 3 times a week for the last year and a half, and I know you get the same thing over and over and over again. So.
Well, when I get to know someone as well as I know you, Pete, it feels like I have more permission to, push the boundaries a little bit and push it.
You do.
And we got to get you, sometimes in order to change, you got to get into get out of the comfort zone, and but there's
absolutely,
there's the best ways to do that. There's good ways to do that. There's effective ways to do that, and then there's the ways to do that are less effective, So I'll just do the most effective way I can, and I think we're all good. And Mark, what final words you got from Pete?
So 2 big takeaways from this call for you, Pete. Number 1, we talked a little bit about the most recent thing we talked about, which is just figure out, I like the fact that you're clear on your goal. Now let's figure out the breakdown method to the point where now it's actionable. Okay, now I know I need to send out an extra 1,500 postcards in order to get effectively a little bit more than twice as many presentations a month. And you may be hesitant to do that initially because of the time commitment. And so that's the second takeaway from this call, is think about the things that you do in your life that you can pay someone else to do or give away or say no to. So there are some things that you're doing that you may not need to continue to do based on your new goals, your new life. As you grow and change, old habits can go away, and you can introduce new habits and new things into your life. So just think about those things that you want to delegate or get rid of entirely in your life, and then go ahead and go after that goal of yours with just eager anticipation. I mean, it's like a kid on Christmas morning. I mean, you can do it. We know you can do it. And so just go ahead and just show the world that, I set a goal and I get it.
That's great. Thank you, Mark.
You bet.
Thank you.
And we're proud of you, the 3 of us. We're all proud of you.
Yeah. And I'm really happy you converted from just a coaching client to a JV partner. It's almost a no-brainer, but that's
I know. I try to take advantage of any opportunity I see, and that's a great opportunity.
Well, we're having a lot of fun. We're all about supporting our clients, and I don't think we've ever supported our clients. Offered so much support and hand-holding, and we're just continuing to grow and improve and leverage ourselves so we can just do more. I got so many cool things. Well, did you see the spreadsheet that I sent out today on coaches? Did you see the spreadsheet I sent out on property research?
It's on my desktop on my computer.
Yeah. I love making.
I played with it.
That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, I like making. So that was, the purpose of that was, I'm dealing with everybody, and one of your roles as a JV partner is to, let me know what the ARV is, let me know what the market rent is, right? And if I can make that easier for you, we just, we'll do more deals. And so I'm always looking for ways to improve that type of support. All right. Well, do you think you have a good action plan on what big rocks you're going to be focusing on, like the 2 areas?
Yeah. I do. I think it's almost as simple as it's just making sure I'm clear on how much I need to have going out, and making sure I'm doing those 3 to 4 presentations a week, and the rest of it should just fall into place.
Okay, a lot of times what we do is we have people focus in on the number of leads that they're coming in order to reach their goals. I think for you, Pete, are you doing any type of weekly reporting to Keith?
Yeah, we do a Monday report.
Okay, so the main part of that report will be how many seller presentations did you do in the past week, in the past 4 months or 4 weeks. So let's focus in on the number of seller presentations per week and per month. And let's report those numbers every week. Do you think that would be good to keep you focused on that metrics?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And it's good accountability. And Keith has a nice sheet for us to fill out, and that's on there. But I haven't been using the sheet, so I'm gonna start using that sheet, Keith, that you supply and getting more specific.
Oh, I'm trying to create something that's already created. I don't even know what the coaches do with you guys. They're the experts. Okay, good. Well, good. Well, Pete, this was a good call.
Yeah, I feel good. It was just good speaking with you guys and making sure that that my what I'm thinking and my plans are you guys view them as achievable, and it seems like I'm got everything aimed in the right direction. So I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a great year and ready to break out.
All right, and then so this was all right, Pete. I will talk to you very shortly, I'm sure.
All right, Richard. Yeah, we got some deal structure tomorrow morning. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good night.
All right. Pleasure working with you, buddy.
Thanks. You too, Richard. Take care.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.